Cedar Fair's most visited seasonal park, Canada's Wonderland, just did something very out of character for Cedar Fair parks. At least I think it's out of character because I've never heard of any of them doing anything like this before. They sent out a survey to, I assume, all their pass members.
Pass holders.
Pass holders.
Yeah.
About, I guess they sent out a couple different kinds of surveys. One is all about, it seems like their current rides. They asked if rides were thrilling enough. They asked about family coasters. And so that seems to be focused a lot on what current rides they have right now. But then they also did something that and this is what I never really heard of before. They asked about future projects. Now they sent out 3 different kinds of roller coasters and asked people's opinions about those. Out of those 3 rides, you have 2 B&M wing coasters, 2 B&M launch wing coasters, and then one what looks like a GCI, maybe something in the vein of
Zambezi
Zinger,
yeah, like a Titan track possibly.
Getting into exactly what they said, the first one, Blast Coaster, what they're calling it. They're saying a strange, unexplainable force has taken over the core of Wonder Mountain. Strap into your winged coaster car and prepare for an exhilarating high-speed launch that propels you through a cavernous subterranean tunnel and into the heart of the mountain. Suddenly, you are blasted straight up and out of the summit's peak. Experience awe-inspiring views as you soar high above Canada's Wonderland and encounter a thrilling series of heart-pounding twists and dizzying turns. Now, right away, anyone reading that may have a home park of King's Dominion may think that sounds a little familiar.
Yeah, Blast Coaster coming out of a mountain. That might sound a little familiar.
And in case you don't know, that coaster was Volcano the Blast Coaster, and it was torn down in 2019, maybe?
A few years ago, yeah.
It was torn down. We were there in 2018 and rode it, so sometime after 2018. That was taken out, and a lot of people were upset, but it was an Intamin LIM launch coaster, which costs a lot of money and very problematic, so it wasn't open a ton.
But this would be a B&M wing coaster, not an Intamin, and B&M, while their rides are known for cracks, they're still a lot more reliable than Intamin coasters.
The thing that sticks out to me for that, you've been to Canada's Wonderland, I have not. Around that area, so there's a lot of coasters around that area, right?
There's a lot. Like in the Wonder Mountain, there's 3 coasters around Wonder Mountain. You have Wonder Mountain's Guardian, you have Vortex, and you have Thunder Mountain, or whatever it is called. Thunder Run.
So do you think they would have to get rid of any of those coasters?
Possibly. You have 3 coasters on 3 sides, and then you have the waterfall on the front. From the picture, it looks like it is on the left-hand side of the mountain when you're coming in, and that's where Wonder Mountain's Guardian is. But it might also be in the back where Vortex is, so they might have to get rid of possibly Vortex. Wonder Mountain's Guardian is mostly in the mountain, so there's just a lift hill outside, that's it. But there's a queue line and stuff, so.
But this one in particular looks a lot like they would, it says that they blast you out of the mountain, so this would have to go into the mountain at some point.
And then up. So I don't know how much room there is. I mean, probably a lot because it's a really big mountain. So they might be able to squeeze it in with the other coasters there.
But before we get too far into this, I think that this is really cool that they're asking opinions from the guests, because the guests are the ones that are going to have to be riding it, and they're the ones that are going to have to be excited enough to buy new passes or something like that.
Exactly, yeah.
Whenever they announce a new roller coaster. So it makes sense that they're asking people. But you also have to be very careful about asking people, because I think back to before 2007, before Maverick was built at Cedar Point. If you don't know, Maverick, there were 2 choices for what Maverick would be. They were both going to be called Maverick, but one was going to be the Maverick that we know today, an Intamin multi-launch blitz coaster. But the other one was going to be a 200-foot plus tall floorless coaster. And this was before Rougarou was turned into a floor. This was when they still had Mantis. So they didn't have a floorless coaster at this point. And you have to think okay, would just a big group of regular park goers, do you think they would say something like, okay, you know what, I see a big 200-foot coaster, I want that. I don't want this little 105-foot
exactly,
coaster.
Like something might look a lot more impressive than it actually would be. So I don't know if people would have voted the floorless coaster for that, but the floorless coaster sounds cooler.
Yeah, you gotta be careful asking the people what they want, because
people don't know what they're talking about.
Sometimes the people don't know what they're talking about, but sometimes they do.
Yeah, and like we said, we really like this idea.
That was one of the B&M launch wing coasters, and now this is the second one.
This one is definitely the coolest one out of them all and the most intriguing. It is concert coaster. Live your greatest rock star dream as you and your bandmates go backstage behind the velvet ropes, hop on a winged coaster car, and launch literally onto a concert light filled stage for the ultimate thrilling, pulse pounding rock experience. A classic guitar riff sends you zooming over spectators' heads and into a series of intense, high-speed inversions, all accompanied by your wing coaster's dynamic onboard audio system blasting multiple classic audio tracks played by some of Canada's greatest bands. So you'll be listening to Nickelback while you're riding the B&M wing coaster. So that's gonna be a lot of fun. And then the last concept, and the whole thing with that wing coaster is there's a whole stage. Like the picture that they're showing, there's a whole stage and there's lights and it's like people at a concert, and then the coaster's going through the stage, and it looks really crazy.
Now the theming for this would be like, you have to wonder, like the picture here that you guys are seeing up on the screen right now, could that be anything? I mean, this is a Cedar Fair park, so could this actually have any sort of theming?
The most well-themed coaster at a Cedar Fair park is probably like Copperhead Strike. Copperhead Strike does not look like that, but that's not saying that Cedar Fair can't do something like this. If it's like that picture, that'd be pretty cool. And like how they're describing, that'd be pretty crazy. So that's definitely the most intriguing one out of them all.
And a launch wing coaster, I think the only one that exists that we've ridden is Thunderbird at Holiday World.
It's the only one that exists yet, made by B&M. And then there's a Jumanji wing coaster that's opening. So only 2 B&M launch wing coasters in the world.
And Thunderbird is my favorite wing coaster.
Yeah, mine too.
And it's a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun, yes.
And you put some theming. And then Holiday World is a smaller park, so less of a budget. So you take Cedar Fair and Canada's Wonderland, a much larger budget, and you can do all sorts of stuff with an extended layout,
stage and lights and stuff, and then
a
you
longer,
have a
better coaster.
That'd be I think that'd be a lot of fun.
I think that's what I would have. I know this isn't a vote, but like I don't know what the survey exactly says, but
if we had to pick from all these, I'd probably go with that one. Maybe, I don't know. I think it'd be the most intriguing one. I don't know if it'll be the best coaster itself. I think this next one might be the best coaster itself. After out of all the concepts.
So this third one, adventure and excitement await visitors to the small Canadian frontier mining town of Eureka Ridge Ghost Town and its signature wooden family coaster. Board your train car for a thrilling, harrowing, off-the-rails ride experience full of exciting drops, hair-raising turns, and a dynamic, explosive ending in the tunnels of the old abandoned gold mine.
So this will have a shed just like Mystic Timbers, but it'll like do a lot more stuff.
Yeah, so this might be not a shed, but they're going to have a what's in the tunnel.
Explosive ending of the tunnel. So you have the shed on Mystic, you have the barn on Copperhead, and then you'll have the tunnel. Maybe the tunnel will be the best one out of them all.
Sounds like it, explosions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So they can take the explosion off of Backlot Stunt Coaster and put it over on this one.
Exactly.
That sounds like a really good option. They all three sound like they're very well themed. They sound like they're really good coasters. So I don't think if Canada's Wonderland is your home park, I don't think you could really go wrong with any of these 3 options. I think that if they go through with any of these, and like we said, they might change some stuff around, or you might not get any of these. Maybe these are just throwing out some feelers, and then something completely different will pop up, just because they just want to get sort of an idea of what people want. I just think that this is interesting, so we wanted to do a quick video about it. So why don't you guys let us know what you think about these three options. Which one would you pick out of these three? Which one do you think they would go with if they are going to go with one of these three? And while you're down there in the comments section, right up above there, there is a subscribe button. If you have not yet subscribed, please do so. It helps the channel
so much.
And then in the description, there is a link to a channel membership page, and you can be like one of these fine people right here. That helps out the channel greatly, and also for their great help, you also get exclusive videos,
exclusive shout outs, exclusive, all sorts of exclusive stuff. You'll just have to see for yourself.
Yeah, you'll be exclusive. You'll be like one of these red, like the concert one where they say go behind the red velvet rope.
Yeah,
so you'll be one of those people.
The scenes of Beach Cliff Studios.
Yeah, so, and that is it for this video. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate you, and we'll see you guys right here next time on Beach Cliff Studios.